Greater Israel is when they conquer the world, because that's what they want to do, bro.
It's Islam's intention, not Israel's intention. We gave back land for peace. The Sinai Peninsula was given back for peace. The Golan Heights were offered back for peace. They refused because they wanted no peace. Greater Israel. They're playing for Greater Israel. Give me a break. What a stupid conspiracy theory. Hi guys, doing this is official Sahar TV, and today I'm reacting to a video that Hamza Saada released on his YouTube channel with a bunch of conspiracy theories and a bunch of crazy things that he wants to villainize Israel and demonize Israel. Let's take a look and debunk the claims as we go, shall we? Let's go.
Hey guys, Hamza here. As we all know, Israel attacked Iran recently. They illegally attacked Iran under international law. And Iran is now defending itself. To all of my followers from Iran, I am praying for you. I hope you are okay. Iran.
Since when do you care about international law, Mr. Hamza, Rosh Bisli Shekamocha? Since when do you care about international law? You said nothing about the international law broken by your friends Hamas in Gaza. You said nothing when Iran fired rockets through Hezbollah to Israel, which is a violation of international law. You said nothing when the Houthis did that. All of a sudden, you care about international law? Woo! Really? Interesting.
Iran has the right to defend itself, and Israel must be stopped and dismantled. Today, we're going to be reacting to a video that uncovers the truth behind Israel's attack on Iran and the real reason why they did it. And also how Netanyahu has been
I'm sure that reason is not going to be biased whatsoever, but I agree. The Iranian people do have a right to defend themselves versus their oppressive regime, meaning the IRGC needs to be ayo alik bye-bye. They don't need to be here. But if Iran truly wants to protect itself, why are they hitting civilians? If they're trying to take out the prime minister, if they're trying to take out military personnel, they're failing. They're only killing civilians.
Planning this for over 30 years now. As always, free Palestine, and let's get started.
From Hamas.
No one is telling you the real reason of why Israel attacked Iran, and that is on purpose.
Israel has launched what it calls a preemptive strike on Iran's nuclear facilities.
Preemptive, yeah, okay.
But this war didn't start this week.
It's preemptive. It's against Iran enriching enough uranium so they can build atomic bombs and then use it against Israel and your ass in America.
Last month or even last year. It's been a war 30 years in the making, not with bombs, but through narrative and the unrelenting obsession of one man.
In the case of Iran's nuclear plans to build a bomb,
time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone,
Guys, this was in 1995.
anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
So why did Israel attack Iran now? And what is the real reason?
Because we have intelligence, they've enriched enough uranium up to 60%, which is not going to be used for civil nuclear use. The United States themselves have unveiled a report, a document.
It's been warmongering for the last 3 decades. The answer lies in control, diversion, and a grand plan to remake the region to ensure Israeli superiority and dominance.
And Jewish supremacy.
It is 1992.
It's crazy,
in
bro.
Jerusalem, a younger Benjamin Netanyahu was a member of Knesset for the Likud party. He makes what seems to be an outlandish prediction. Iran will have a nuclear bomb in the next 3 to 5 years. But at first, no one takes him seriously. Meanwhile, the Israeli Labor Party is in the midst of negotiating a peace deal with the Palestinian Liberation Organization. The right wing is terrified of that prospect because it would ruin their vision for Greater Israel. They wanted to support.
Greater Israel is when they conquer the world, because that's what they want to do, bro.
It's Islam's intention, not Israel's intention. We gave back land for peace. The Sinai Peninsula was given back for peace. The Golan Heights were offered back for peace. They refused because they wanted no peace. Greater Israel. They're playing for Greater Israel. Give me a break. What a stupid conspiracy theory.
For the talks.
They're crazy.
So they resort to fear-mongering to divert attention from peace with the Palestinians to...
Within 3 to 5 years, we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in its ability to develop and produce a nuclear bomb. That's not claiming that they'll have a nuclear bomb. It's we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in their ability to develop. What are you talking about? He wasn't wrong.
a bigger, more dangerous enemy. And Iran is the perfect boogeyman.
As head of the conservative Likud party, Netanyahu himself became the face of the opposition to Oslo.
But when that didn't work, the Israeli right assassinated Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. Since then, Netanyahu and the Israeli right have utilized that tactic over and over and over again.
Iran lied. If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material.
Weeks away. He said
From having the fissile material. Listen to what he's saying, Ya Abdul Hamza. Listen. Don't pinpoint into what you want to hear.
that in 2015. He said that 10 years ago. Oh my God.
An entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about
6 months away. He said that in 2012.
90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen,
Still, not a lie. 25 bombs a year doesn't mean that it has to happen now. Once they have the capability, that's what they can produce. Again, not a false.
And he's saying this as if Israel doesn't have any nuclear bombs. They have over 70 nuclear bombs that no one even knows about and are probably illegally made under international law as well.
So if nobody knows about the nuclear bombs that we have, how do you know, Mr. Hamza? How do you know? If we do have atomic bombs, we're not going to use it against Iran like Iran wants to use it against Israel and America. Hamza is the target as well. That to America, he's in America.
I think this video talks about that, so let's keep watching.
time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Always the same thing.
What a liar.
Iran is a few years away from a nuclear weapon, which as we
I don't think people are understanding what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying.
the same thing.
What a
Time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
Always the same thing.
What a
Iran
liar.
is a
Producing takes time, Hamza. Producing takes time. He means they'll be autonomous to produce atomic bombs. What's the problem?
few years away from a nuclear weapon, which as we know has been a lie. But what explains this obsession with Iran? Well, there are 3 reasons. 1. Control.
They love control.
Muslims love control. Islam is looking to prevail over other religions. Surah 933. Islam is starting to dominate the UK, starting to dominate France, starting to dominate Canada. Slowly will dominate the United States as well. Sharia law will replace the Constitution. It's coming. Every accusation is a confession. And check out the commonality in this video. Both Hamza and the person presenting this video are Muslims. Wow, what a shocker.
The psychology of Israeli society is built on fear. And the surest way to shift public opinion in Israel is to tell them they're on the brink of annihilation. And in the case of Iran, it's nuclear annihilation.
Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust.
He just looks so evil.
It actually looks like a pretty good leader. You look evil, Hamza.
Just like, look at him. He just looks so evil, bro.
Just look at him. He looks so evil, this Hamza, Abdul Hamza.
Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime.
Netanyahu has carefully and deliberately crafted the narrative since the 1990s, weaponizing the Israeli psychology of fear and the idea of a second Holocaust.
Do you guys think we're dumb? Do you think we're dumb? What do you have to say about the Fadain attacks that happened before Netanyahu was even alive? 1948 until 1967, we had Fadain attacks attacking civilians, targeting civilians. What would you say about the War of Annihilation in 1948? They tried to annihilate Israel before Benjamin Netanyahu was alive. The fear of being annihilated is very much real. The Muslim neighboring countries don't approve of Israel. They don't approve of it as a Jewish state. They seek to destroy it. Iran funding Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and the Shia militias in Iraq and Syria. What do you think they have them for? What, to play soccer between team to team? To annihilate Israel. That's the goal. That has been the intended goal.
And to paint himself as the protector of the Jewish state from impending doom.
A targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival.
It has been this way in which he unites Israeli society behind him and gets them to fall in line. His government is about to collapse, Iran. Corruption charges? Iran. Two-state solution with the Palestinians? But Iran.
Yeah.
And this...
The two-state solution with the Palestinians was offered by Ehud Barak in 2000. But Iran? It was also offered by Ehud Olmert. But Iran? Give me a break. Israel is not the obstacle for peace in the region. It's the Palestinians. It's the Muslims around us that don't approve of our existence. When will you get it?
Brings me to the second reason. Diversion. Netanyahu has consistently manufactured the threat of Iran's nuclear bomb to divert the world's attention from Palestine. The same way he tried to do in the early 1990s. See, Netanyahu is the longest-serving Israeli prime minister ever.
Dictator.
And has been in power for the majority of the Oslo negotiations.
Is he talking about dictators right now? Do you want to talk about the dictators of Hamas in Gaza? The dictators you support so much? You don't care about dictators. Do you want to talk about Mahmoud Abbas that's been in power for more than 15 years? That's a dictator. No? No elections. You seem to like dictators. Hamzul. What about Egypt? There's no democratic elections in Egypt. You seem to support them. What about Syria? Hamza. What a joke. Khamenei is a dictator. And you support Khamenei.
Era. He has done everything in his power to destroy the prospect of a Palestinian state. And during his tenure, Israel has only colonized more Palestinian land and constructed a system of apartheid in Palestine between the river and the sea. And here's the thing, Netanyahu would almost refuse to...
There's no system of apartheid between the river and the sea. The Arabs and Jews that live side by side in proper Israel have exactly the same rights. The Palestinians living in Gaza are under Hamas and not under Israel. So what apartheid are you talking about? The rights are given by Hamas. Same applies to the Palestinians living in Area A and B. The rights are given by the PA, not by Israel. So what apartheid are you talking about? Yo, these people are stupid.
Speak about Palestine and Palestinians. Instead, he would focus on Iran at his speeches in the UN, in interviews with the media, and in his meetings with world leaders. This was deliberate.
That's a crazy scene, by the way. Donald Trump pulling his chair out is insane. What is going on in this picture right here? This is insane, dude. The U.S. is sucking up to Israel so bad. It's like Israel's controlling the U.S. I mean, I guess it's the United States of Israel at the end of the day. It's insane.
Hamza, you suck at commentary. Stick to your Fortnite gameplay, huh? Or your TikTok lives where you have to do some dances to get some gifts. How about that?
This was deliberate. He wanted everyone to forget about Palestine, to relegate the Palestinian cause to a minority issue within Israel, rather than a people fighting for liberation and self-determination. So he needed a credible and scary enemy to rally the world behind. And that was Iran. This failed when October 7th and the genocide in Gaza made Palestine the #1 issue in the world. And recently,
Gaza is not the #1 issue in the world. There's much bigger issues in the world right now than the Palestinians. Palestine is the least of them. We can talk about the starving children in Yemen. We can talk about the endless problems in Africa. We can talk about the endless problem in Tibet. We can talk about the endless problems in different places around the world. Palestine would be at the bottom of the list.
And recently, a tide was turning as Gaza was being starved.
Starved by Hamas, who's been stealing their aid since the beginning, hiding it in warehouses. And then when Israel tries to create humanitarian zones, Hamas just shoots them out of the blue. And then people blame Israel. Absurdity.
Haram, wallah. This is crazy.
Countries that are some of Israel's closest friends were now being critical. There was talk about recognition of a Palestinian state, and even the talk of sanctions. But that's when Netanyahu did what Netanyahu does best. A few days later, Israel attacks Iran, and these countries are now trumpeting the same old age line. Israel has a right to defend itself.
They attack first.
Tactic of
How did we attack first? I have been saying since the beginning. They have been funding Hezbollah, funding Hamas, and funding the Houthis. Hamas attacked on October 7th. Hezbollah attacked on October 8th. Hezbollah has been attacking us since 1981. What are you talking about, ya Jawal? They attacked first. The rockets that came from Iran to Israel came before we even attacked there.
Version worked. Attention went from Gaza to Iran.
Yeah.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion.
But see, there's more to all of this, and that's the third reason. domination.
What is going on right now is literally a distraction. Hundreds and hundreds of people have died in Gaza since Israel attacked Iran, and no one is really talking about it anymore. All of the attention, as he said, is now on Iran and not about Gaza or Palestine or what's happening in the West Bank. This is a distraction, and he's killing innocent people while he's doing it.
Hamzul, but what is the reason that people are currently dying in Gaza? Is it Israel or is it Hamas's invasion of Israel on October 7th? What is it? You need to answer this question and not run away from it.
A group of American neoconservative advisors, at the behest of Netanyahu, put together a plan to remake the Middle East and driving regime change in every country that was hostile to Israel. This plan was called the Clean Break, and the list included countries like Libya, Iraq, Syria, and Iran.
It's crazy.
Through the powerful Israeli lobby in the US, and
if you guys hear me saying crazy too much, that's because
it's because you really don't know how to do commentary. So you should just stick to your Fortnite, just like I said before. Hamza, you're wasting your time.
I'm thinking of Israel. I mean, that's all I could say about them. Disgusting, crazy ethno-state, supremacist, apartheid, genocidal regime.
Cannot be an ethno-state. There's Arabs living here as well. It's not only for the Jews. Cannot be apartheid. Arabs in Israel have exactly the same rights. And ethnic cleansing, what are you talking about? They multiplied by many, many, many civilians since 1948. So we probably suck at ethnic cleansing, huh, Hamza?
And Iran. Through the powerful Israeli lobby in the US, and connections to factions in the American deep state, Netanyahu and Israel have directed American foreign policy for the last 30 years, dragging the US from one war after another.
Well, it's part of a 30-year effort. This is Netanyahu's war to remake the Middle East. It's been a disaster. It continues to be a disaster.
We've seen a clear pattern emerge. Every leader that was deemed a threat to Israel has eventually been removed through war, sanctions, or regime change. Now that Gaddafi, Saddam, and Bashar were out of the way, Iran was the last country standing. Because it is the strongest opposition to Israel's hegemony in the region and the pursuit of the Zionist dream of greater Israel.
You know, I've seen Israelis wear this map. I've literally seen Israelis wear this map as if they own the world, bro. What is wrong with them?
Of greater.
Go see what Muslims say about the Constitution of America, how they want to turn it into a Quran Sharia law state. Go see what Muslims in Canada say. Go see what Muslims in the UK say. Go see what Muslims in France say. Don't you see? He is trying to divert you from what's actually happening. Islam dominating the world.
Israel, with a weakened Hamas and Hezbollah, and a supportive Trump administration, Netanyahu saw his opportunity to finish his grand plan, topple the Iranian regime. This would secure Israel as the preeminent power in the region once and for all. Following the Iraq playbook and the manufactured threat of Iran's nuclear bomb, Netanyahu and Israel attacked. And now we're watching this war unfold that is in reality a disguise for regime change and Israeli supremacy in the region.
This needed to happen because if the regime changes and you have a better leader, then that better leader is not going to want to fund terrorists like the IRGC and the Ayatollah regime.
Exactly.
So what now? It's important to point out that Israel never had the military capacity to destroy Iran's nuclear program or effect regime change. They always needed the US. Their strategy is to entice the US and the Trump administration to join the fight so they can finish the job.
Nuclear facilities are deeply buried, hard to target. You cannot believe that you can destroy them all.
And it's a big question whether or not the United States should be involved in this, especially in places like the facilities in Fordow and others.
So what do you say to the US right now and President Trump?
I think it will be in everybody's interest.
The main pressure on Trump so far has been domestic. His MAGA and America First constituency are anti-foreign wars and are against the US joining Israel's war against Iran. There are many scenarios of how this can play out, and a lot of them are contingent on the US and other powers in the region. But whichever way this goes, it will be consequential in shaping the future of the region. But in the meantime, this is what we know. Netanyahu will not stop until his obsession with Iran is materialized. We are seeing him and his Western allies manufacture consent to carry out a plan that's been 30 years in the making. Don't fall for it.
And I won't. And you shouldn't either. No one fall for this. Israel.
Exactly. No one fall for this bullshit that was just aired on Hamza's channel. The truth about Israel's attack on Iran. That's the title of this bullshit video.
As he said, is using this whole thing as a distraction to have more power in the region and to dominate the region even more. And if that means he starts World War III, then he's going to do it. And that's exactly what I think is going on. If the US gets involved, if Russia gets involved, I mean, this is not going to look good. And a lot of innocent people are going to die. And that's what Israel loves doing. They love...
Shut up, Hamza. The United States just got involved. Iran retaliated against Qatar, and now there's a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. As I speak, this is the current situation. Hamza is a bullshit talker. Hamza tries to villainize and demonize Israel. A few days later, I'm here telling you that there's a ceasefire between Israel and the IRGC, which, by the way, I condemn. I don't think it should happen. I think the regime needs to change. Now is the time. But Hamza is trying to demonize and villainize us because that's what he does best. Bullshit video, propaganda video. Why would they build an enriched uranium facility inside a freaking mountain? To do what? For tourism? To shelter it from people like America and people like Israel. People with 60% enriched uranium are not developing it for fun, for civil use. It's developed to be used for nuclear weapons to be used against Israel and America. And if you don't believe it, go read the research. Go see them chanting death to America, death to Israel. You don't see the Israelis chanting death to Iran, death to Syria, death to Lebanon. We don't use our nuclear weapons, if we do have, because Israel never claimed we do, against our enemies. Only as a last resort, only as a shield, not as a sword that Iran wants to use it as. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to support me financially, you can do so through Buy Me Coffee in the link in the description. Also, I just opened a Discord server. Please join it. It's linked in the description below. It would be lovely to have you there and grow this community. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.